What's going on, YouTube? My name is Steven, also known as Sky Fox, and today we're going to have a conversation about meditation. So, what is meditation? Meditation is an activation of your nervous system. What do I mean by that? Your nervous system is what allows you to feel everything, right? Your nervous system is connected to your hands and your legs and your brain and your eyes, and it's connected to everything. It allows you to feel. And if we think about feelings, feelings is something that you cannot see. So the reason why I'm saying this is because when you meditate and you activate your nervous system, you're going to feel things in areas that you didn't know that you could feel in that area, right? It doesn't make sense. So, for example, you do have a pituitary gland right here, which is associated with the crown chakra. And when you meditate, what you're going to feel is you might start to feel the pituitary gland like pulse, right? But will also feel energetically is you start to feel something open up here, and then you will feel like just a light beam. It feels like a light beam is coming down to your head, and you are being slowly pulled up, right? And I know some of you are watching saying, "What the hell is this guy talking about?" Right? Because it sounds far fetched. It sounds crazy. It sounds like I never heard of this before. Like, is this real? I promise you it's real. And I've helped many people with meditation, and they have felt all the things that I'm describing to you about meditation. So, how do we meditate? And meditation is not exercising. I've had conversations with people and they say, "Oh yeah, you know what? When I'm exercising, that's my meditation time." Or when I'm taking a walk, I'm that's my time for meditation. No, you are exercising and you're walking, and maybe when you're walking, you're contemplating some things and it gives you some time to clear your head or whatever the case may be. But that is not meditation. Meditation is a very specific thing. The key concept to meditation is breathing, right? A lot of people breathe backwards, but when you breathe properly, you breathe into your diaphragm. So, what that means is your stomach expands when you breathe in, and when you breathe out, it contracts. You got to think about this. When you're breathing, you're consuming air, right? So, that means when you breathe in, breathe out, right? Expanding and contracting on the breath. And that is really the key to meditation. I remember when I first started meditating, I just tried to sit there and just be in, let go of my thoughts or whatever the case may be. But that wasn't, I thought it was foo foo, right? I thought it was garbage. I'm like, this is not real. But then I learned that you have to continuously focus on breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. That is the key to meditation. So now we're going to get into some of my tips and tricks for meditation, right? To help amplify the meditation, or how to get you into the meditative state faster, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is the breath of fire, which is basically a rapid succession of breathing in and out, right? And you're breathing in and out through your nose, and you are pushing your stomach in and out with your breath, right? So it looks like this. And so while you're breathing in and out really fast like that, you're pushing your stomach in and out, pushing your stomach in and out with your breath, right? So that's the first tip. The second tip, while you're meditating, I call them the brow raises, right? So the brow raises is basically this. You're doing these brow exercises, and for me, my understanding of it is when you're exercising an area, you are pushing blood flow and activity into that. And what's important about this area, that's where the pineal gland is, that's where the third eye is. When you're doing this, you're not only bringing activity here, but you're bringing activity to all the wiring and the connections in this area. So you are also stimulating that pituitary gland as well. So that is a master tip. So something else that I enjoy is crystals. Crystals are a very, very powerful tool. What I will say is it was honestly when I started using crystals in my meditation that I started to feel the opening, right? For a long time, my body was just kind of like, shifting from side to side. And what I call that is kind of like spirit body is activating. But when I started using crystals is when I started to feel the opening here in this area. So what you can do is you just take a crystal, clear quartz crystal, you set it right here on top of your head. And if you really want to get into using the power of crystals in your meditation, what I will tell you is that you can use crystals to pull things from your chakras into your conscious mind. And what do I mean by that? So, I was going through a period in time where I wanted to feel more grounded, and I felt like there was something that I need to work on within my root chakra. So, I put a red jasper on top of my head, and for about maybe 30 minutes a day for 2 weeks using the red jasper, I remembered something that I won't share here because it's very personal to me, but I remembered something and it allowed me to remember it and then to kind of adjust it or fix it, right? There's a lot of things that happen to us in our childhood that maybe we change something about ourselves or change the way that we do something or did something, right? Because of something that somebody else did. It's trauma, right? But I was able to remember it and then put it in its proper place as an adult. When you think about these crystals, and that was just something that I did with the root chakra. If you're having heart chakra issues or throat chakra issues, I suggest using these crystals, putting them on top of your head, really spending time with that crystal and allowing it to, maybe show you something that you forgot, or maybe enlighten you on a certain thing. So, using crystals in your meditation is very, 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 very powerful. So, the last tip that I want to talk about is using smells. My favorite scent or smell to use is frankincense. Take a little bit of this, rub it on your forehead, rub it on your neck. It's good to introduce some organic, ancient kind of smells. It kind of sets the vibe, it sets the energy. And these oils and these scents have power inside of them. Another thing that I use is this, right? So this is a resins burner, right? So you get you some coal, you get you some frankincense and myrrh, resins. It's almost like has a cleansing, healing effect. We're so used to smelling all these inorganic artificial smells, so I like to just introduce a very primal, organic smell around me to kind of tap into the elements or the energy. So an honorable mention would have to be listening to African drums, listening to like raw African beats and drums. I have experienced some great sensations when listening to those sounds. Don't ever underestimate the power of sounds and smells, right? Because sounds and smells have the ability to make you feel a certain way. Some sounds can make you feel happy, some sounds can make you feel sad. Some sounds can make you feel like, you feel motivated, like you want to work out, you want to go to the gym. Sounds are very, very, very powerful. And smells are also very, very powerful, right? Certain smells make you throw up. Certain smells stimulate you and bring you alive, make you alive. Certain smells could make you hungry, or you got certain aphrodisiacs that make you feel very sensual, like you want to, make love or whatever. The power of sounds and smells are very powerful, right? I will post a link to where I get my frankincense and myrrh resins from in the description box below. Also, I want to say that, experiencing the effects of meditation can be very difficult if your nervous system is jacked up, like alcohol, pork, shrimp, crab, coffee, sugary stuff, hot Cheetos, Takis and all that kind of stuff it's not going to be good for your nervous system. It's going to be really, really difficult for your nervous system to activate and feel everything that I'm describing. Okay. I don't make any money from anything that I am suggesting. Purely just suggesting it. So she legit, she legit is very, very good at restoring your nervous system. It can activate nerves that have shut down from stress. And she legit has, I believe it's something like 83 minerals inside of it. And those 83 minerals really replenish your nervous system. So I will post a link to where I get my She Legit from in the description box below. So I believe I've covered everything. What is meditation? How do you meditate? My tips and tricks and guides on meditation. And I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. I would be so happy to hear any and all of your experiences about your meditation in the comments. I hope you all have a beautiful day or night or morning or wherever you're at. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.